Mann zum Möglichkeitsniveau.
Hello everyone, this is Shauna from Disrupt Apps LLC, and I haven't made a video in a while. I've been living a slow life and working casually on my peer-to-peer browser. I'll post a video on that soon. But today I want to make a video on something that I feel is very important, that people are not seeing what's coming, and it's called Big Tech's Coming: Food Takeover and the Death of the Private Farmer. And I've written out a non-AI produced missive here, and as you can see I wrote it. I do everything without artificial intelligence. So anyhow, I really think that we are heading into a dystopia here with everything that's gone on in this past year here in America with the regime in power and the big tech that's behind it. And I'm very frustrated as a technologist seeing how badly the regime and big tech are just pairing together to usher in this horrible dystopia that they want to push upon America. And I've gone on the record talking about cryptocurrencies and how they steal our data, so you know what side of the ball I'm on, which side of history, which team I play for, and the team of freedom and liberty and human dignity. And it's just so frustrating for me to see what's happening, and people don't get the bigger picture that big tech is hand and parcel or hand in hand with what is going on. And that's why I make these videos. I'm putting my name, my company, my reputation on the line here, and maybe my life if it comes down to it, depending on how bad this regime comes to. But everybody has to stand their ground and stand what they believe in. And I will say that I fight fascists, and to quote Chris Hedges, who I've liked for years now, I do not fight fascists because I'll win. I will fight fascists because they are fascists. So anyhow, I really do think that knowing how bad big tech is and how they're a cancer and they want to get into every aspect of our socio-economic system, and the thing that people are not seeing that's coming is the infiltration of big tech into the American farmer and farming worldwide. And in this thing that I wrote here, this essay that I wrote here, I go into that. But just briefly, big tech wants to control everything. They want to appify everything. They want to gigify everything. They want to gamify everything. They want to blockchain everything. They want everything under their control. And we're sleepwalking into it. And one of the biggest industries they have not gotten their cancerous tentacles into is agriculture. Now I want you to think, before I get into this pre-written thing, why do you think they're getting rid of brown people aside from racism? Because these 1% people know that capitalism needs cheap labor to go pick the crops in the fields. Well, yeah, ICE agents are going to rip away all the brown people because of racism, but I'm telling you, it's agri-automation is coming in the next 10 years, and big tech wants in that I would suspect there's hundreds of billions of dollars in that industry, maybe trillions worldwide, to get into that market, to get into that industry that is just ripe for them to go in. Because big tech has to get into everything to make money and control. So let me go ahead and read my pre-written essay here. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, and I'm not gloating or tooting my horn, but when January 6th happened back in 2021, I was one of the first people to outright say that January 6th was America's beer hall putsch. And I've been saying that since 2016, that America was heading for a fascist takeover. And look where we are today. And it's only been within the past year and a half that people have made the echoes of history, have put together the echoes of history of 1920s and 30s Germany within the past year and a half. And I was saying this a decade ago. So you people have got to listen to me, even though I'm just a nobody tech person out here. Because I know the industry. I've worked in the industry. I know what these maniacal sociopaths want to do. I've been watching the cryptocurrency experiment since its inception, understanding that it was supposed to be a directly peer-to-peer payment system designed to end the double spending problem, as well as create a trustless system that does not require trusted third parties. And I've watched it grow from a thing between computer geeks to becoming a speculative asset class it was never meant to be, to becoming a failed experiment that is now going to be under the thumb of a regime who dictates who and what can issue stablecoins, which is totally antithetical to what Satoshi Nakamoto wrote in their white paper. Go read the white paper, and you'll understand how crypto is a failed experiment. And you can find my video essays on things like the Genius Act, the Nakamoto white paper that I read through, and why crypto is a failed experiment on my channel, showing you all of this. I know so many of you crypto brothers and sisters are out there, I don't care, I'm making money. That's not the whole, you've been duped, you're getting robbed, you've been corrupted. And I stand my ground, whereas people have just listened to the hype and turned crypto into a gambling and money-making tool, a gamification on an app, which has now led the Project 2025 regime and big tech to turn blockchain into a control mechanism for society. It's a failed experiment, and now the evil side of blockchain and crypto is backfiring in your faces, and one day you're going to figure it out and regret what you've done. I am one of the first people who was warning people that stablecoins will be the basis for a UBI subsidy payment system that the regime controls after big tech destroys tens of millions of jobs with AI, automation, and robotics. And I'm going on the record warning you that we are heading for a biometric blockchain control society run by the big tech oligarchy and authoritarians who dictate that America is to be a white, heterosexual, nuclear family Christian nation, and it's going to use technology to usher in this sick vision of what America should be. And I'm telling you, you may laugh at me now, but I was right with Trump and fascism. I was right with the crypto thing. I'm right about a lot of things because I've worked in tech and I've worked in corporate America, and I know how I've been in those meetings. I know how these people think. They think I want to be brutally honest. These 1% people, they think you're animals. They think you're domestic livestock who need to be tended to and told what to do and what to buy, what to eat, when to shit, when to wash. They think you're animals, and they want to put all of you on a blockchain mother may I system. Get with it. Get with reality. I digress. In this video, I'm going on the record, likely one of the first people out here on the web, telling you the reality about farming. What's happening with farming. There is a reason why farmers are having a hard time right now despite supporting Trump and the Project 2025 regime. Donald Trump has used their votes to get into office and has now cast them aside. These people went in here and they voted for Trump thinking, oh, they're going to own the libs and we're going to keep our subsidies and America great again. Trump showed his true colors. And all you farmers, I grew up in the South. I know what agriculture is like because I grew up around it. And I'm sorry you got duped. I'm trying to have empathy and sympathy for you guys, but you wouldn't listen to people telling you Trump is using you and is blowing up in your face. You're in the F around, find out phase right now. And I hope you understand what Trump has done. He has thrown you under the bus. He has said, pull yourselves up by the bootstraps. No subsidies for you. Deal with it. And now you're whining and crying about the person who you elected. But I'm telling you, you were used. And here's the reason why. On Inauguration Day, we saw big tech literally stand behind Trump and his regime. And the big tech people, like I said before, they think you're domesticated animals that on their plantation that they own. So they got behind Trump because they're planning the future. They know what the future is. And with AI and automation and technology coming, they know They had to put a control system in place before AI and automation creates mass technological unemployment. And that includes farming and farming automation, right? We all know that big tech is behind the regime because the 1% know that the regime will grant the big tech companies and oligarchs, they will grant them the power to run roughshod all over America. And we have seen how various companies, as well as Doge, like Palantir and things like that, have built their IT surveillance state integrated databases and infrastructure this year alone. And as I mentioned before, Trump has passed the Genius Act, which paves the way for a stablecoin blockchain biometric control financial system. If you read the Genius Act, which I did on my channel, which few other channels have actually done, if you read the Genius Act, it puts his regime in charge of stablecoins. And it says they want to implement a broad stablecoin payment system. And stablecoins are going to be backed by U.S. treasuries and tied in with the U.S. dollar. Look where society is going. And you got to understand, now here's the long-term goal that the masses aren't getting or putting together. Big tech is coming for American farms. Big tech is now a cancer upon humanity. Its whole goal is not innovation. That flew out the window back in the early 2000s. The shit that we have now is not innovation. Big tech is about power, centralized control, and profits. Big tech is so big now that it has become the next too big to fail industry. Big tech has to be forever expanding and making artificial markets. They need those semiconductor fab wafers churning. They need to be spitting out they need to be spitting out hardware. They need to be spitting out microchips. They need to be building data centers everywhere because big tech has to make money or they lose billions of dollars. And the thing is, big tech has saturated so much of our economic system that it is running out of legitimately new, fresh markets. So it has to go in and make up these stupid artificial markets. It has to go in and justify microchipping everything and put everything onto the internet, from your toaster to your refrigerator to your stone on your driveway to your mailbox. These morons are conditioning you and convincing you that everything has to be on the freaking internet or on the blockchain. And this is going to happen to farming. It's going to happen to American agriculture, right? Because agriculture right now is one of the biggest untapped, untouched markets that big tech hasn't got its greedy tentacles in, right? It's gotten into everything else. I mean, there's likely untold billions or perhaps trillions of dollars worldwide of untapped market share big tech wants to get its slimy, intrusive blockchain tentacles into. And they will do whatever they can to get into agriculture. And with this current tech bro, crypto bro friendly regime in office, and with Project 2025, they're going to let American farmers go broke. They're going to take away their subsidies like we're seeing. This tariff war, it's hurting American farmers. Because think about it. What easier way is to create a crisis on the American farmers and that they come begging or they have to sell out, they can't run their farms anymore, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to go to the people who've got big money. Like, who has a lot of money? Big tech. And all those people like BlackRock and all those investment equity firms, right? Well, guess what? If you take away a farmer's ability to make money, take away their subsidies, you take away the brown people whose cheap labor they need to pick the fruit and vegetables and to do all the manual labor, guess what? There's a manufactured crisis that big tech can come in and put the robots and their AI and their blockchain and artificial intelligence bullshit. And guess what? Big tech is going to own the food supply. And it's all because of agri-tech and agri-automation. And this whole thing is untapped. And these big tech people are just salivating. How can we get in there and control the food supply, control this industry vital to human existence? You know, so think about it. Aside from the blatant racism, why do you think they are aggressively deporting immigrants who work in agriculture? It's because the 1% know, the big tech oligarchs know that agricultural automation is coming and those immigrants are no longer going to be needed. When big tech comes for the American farms, the regime will have even more control over America. Look at what social media has done to this society. Look at what AI is doing to the working class. Look what AI is doing to Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and denial of insurance claims and healthcare and crap like that. Look what it's doing to the workers. Now imagine what's going to happen when big tech has control over our food production and distribution and puts everything on some stupid app or some gamified application or comes up with some stupid food blockchain security technology that all of a sudden we must now have. Big tech is going to spin farming automation as, some new and great innovation. And the right will cheer it on because it gets rid of brown people, but Americans will hand over their food security into the hands of big tech oligarchs who just see you people as digital blockchain wage slaves who should own nothing and just be a subscription to everything, own nothing society, including your food. I want you to imagine where you can no longer buy food unless you have an app. You can no longer buy food unless you scan your face at whatever big chain store out there. Or perhaps 10 years from now that you must use some sort of regime-approved stablecoin to buy food. Or that you have to use some Amazon or whatever drone service, or you have to use some food subscription service to get your food. You think that's far-fetched? The infrastructure, lots of the infrastructure is already in here, in place, and being put into place to implement such a dystopic system. I'm telling you, wake up. More than technology. Like I open with all my videos, those who control technology control humanity. But more than technology, if you control the food, you control the people. I want you people to wake up and realize that one day your food will be owned by big tech, or in part with the consolidated food conglomerates we have now, or that companies like Palantir, Intel, Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD, hell, Facebook and TikTok or Tinder, for all I know, may have control over your food access with their apps. I mean, we already have food apps now. It's not that far-fetched. Our next step to make it blockchain appified food. And with how maniacal these big tech maniacs are, like Sam Altman with his orb eye crap and Zuckerberg with his glasses that he keeps trying to push, his AI glasses, with these megalomaniac maniacs, with these political regime we have in power, and these oligarchs are, I would not put it past them to declare that family and personal private farms are going to be illegal in the future in the name of security and safety. Look what this regime is doing with like Tylenol and autism and food and vaccines. We are literally in idiocracy, and we're handing it over to big tech. So I want you to step out of your comfort zone. I want you to see what is coming, the reality that is coming. One day you're going to wake up to a blockchain food supply. You're going to wake up to an appified food buying system. You're going to wake up to having some sort of facial scanning crap to go buy food at Walmart or Albertsons or whatever, or some stablecoin blockchain crap when all of you are unemployed. I'm telling you, and I'm asking you, are you really ready to abdicate food security? Are you ready to abdicate that much power and control to big tech? Is that the society that you want?